says some of America's biggest outlets are becoming increasingly opinionated, and the reporting of hard facts with more analysis and commentary is causing viewers to switch off. RT's Gina Chichikan has commentary.
It shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody that all media are opinionated to a certain extent. We all are. A study by the Pew Research Center gauges the extent to which the three major U.S. channels are opinionated. On MSNBC, opinion fills a full 85% of the channel's airtime. According to this study, Fox, 45%, CNN, about the same. The study says since 2007, they have all cut back sharply on the amount of actual reporting on their airwaves. What filled the void was relatively cheap, provocative debate. The study suggests that by becoming more and more opinionated, the channels have been losing their viewers. This annual State of the Media report says nearly 1/3 of consumers that they surveyed said they have abandoned a news outlet because it no longer gave them what they had counted on, either with fewer or less complete stories. Professor Chris Chambers is here to talk about this. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
What is your personal opinion? Why is the viewership down? Do you agree with that report?
Oh, I agree. I agree totally. I mean, you have people who are not getting full news right now. They're getting fluff and sensationalism of the news packages that they are getting, and then the hard news that they're getting, the time is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And a lot of media outlets, including the large ones like CNN, are cutting back and laying off reporters, researchers, producers, closing foreign bureaus around the world. So the supply of hard news is shrinking, and it's being replaced with opinion, and not just any opinion, but opinion about a lot of nonsense and fluff.
I want to ask you about the percentage of actual reporting that they do. For weeks, for several weeks in a row, CNN and other news channels have been covering this story, with Jodi Arias, the girl who killed her boyfriend. I mean,
right.
Day in and day out, live coverage every day. Then there was this rape case, two young men raped a 16-year-old, awful thing, right? Again, follow-ups, live coverage, day in and day out. Why do they pick these stories to follow up on?
Well, with the Arias case, it's obvious because you have a beautiful young woman, a dead boyfriend who had kind of a shady past. I mean, it's almost a Hollywood movie script. The other one, the Steubenville rape, it touches a nerve around the country. You have two teenage boys, a young girl raped, and so this sets off a lot of emotional forces. But to cover this day in, day out, without giving any depth to it, I mean, it does both stories an injustice, and it masquerades as hard news, because it really isn't hard news when you're rehashing and churning a lot of things, a lot of opinions, basically.
But that was a lot of depth in that story. I was actually more worried about what was left out. But for example, what I was wondering about, why wouldn't they pick, for example, the Guantanamo hunger strike to follow up on? Was it because the story didn't have the words sex and rape in it to make it on TV?
That's
here?
Part of it. I mean, it doesn't have the word sex in it, or something lascivious, or a hook that'll hook in people emotionally. And it's a very difficult issue politically, legally, and culturally for the American people to handle. Guantanamo has always been that kind of an issue.
So it's too difficult? It's too difficult,
so it has two strikes against it already. I mean, and the third strike is that there's no breaking news. None of the people at the hunger strikes have died, or have maybe rioted and taken some guards hostage. So the breaking news is strike 3. So it's out. I mean, there's no coverage in the mainstream media outlets. So it's just not anything they want to touch, unfortunately.
Thank you, Professor Chambers. Thank you very much. Well, it's difficult to conclude what comes first here: financial considerations, editors' personal preferences, or the sense among executives of what viewers want. But if you believe this study and their statistics, whatever they're doing has to change because they're losing viewers. In Washington, I'm Gina Chichikan.
Well,